So do you remember some time ago, we made a video talking about some of the new products and services that Apple's offering? Well, if you don't, here's a quick refresher. I think that covers just about every single service Apple launched recently. There are a lot of interesting things coming. So yeah, that was the Apple Card. We talked about it then, and this is the Apple Card. It has officially come in, at least for me, but that doesn't mean that we haven't had access to the card here at the Tech Bros. We've actually been using it for the past couple of months. Yeah, past couple of months. Now, I'm not gonna say that Apple did anything magical with this credit card. At the end of the day, it is just that, a credit card. So we're gonna talk about what exactly the Apple Card is, how you activate it, and what benefits you get from opening a line of credit from Apple. I never thought I would ever say that. Now, just some prerequisites you need to know if you're interested in the Apple Card. In order to apply for it, you need to be on iOS 12.4 or newer. But at the time of this video, 12.4 is the latest iOS operating system. You apply for the card in the wallet application. And for me and everyone else out there, application should only take a couple of minutes. It's actually eerily strange how fast you can go through this application process. I think all in all, it took me maybe 5 minutes. That was because it took a little bit of extra time to actually scan my driver's license for verification. But yeah, it's super, super quick. You get approved almost immediately. And then in terms of the card being available, it's available as soon as you get approved via Apple Pay on your iPhone. So if you want to use the card right away, you can at places that take Apple Pay, but you will have to wait about, I think, 2 days. I waited 2 days for my card to come in the mail. It showed up really quick. The best part about it is it's titanium. And in terms of activation, it comes in this neat little pamphlet that you guys see right here. But at the bottom here, it just says to open up the pamphlet, unlock your iPhone, and bring it close enough to this. And it pairs or activates the Apple Card similar to how it pairs with AirPods. You'll see a little prompt pop up on your iPhone. You hit activate, and that's it. Your card's activated, and you're good to go. Now, like I said, this is a credit card, so let's talk about some of the benefits that you see with this particular credit card. Now, in terms of APR, you're looking at anything from 12.99 to 23.99%. Obviously, based on your credit worthiness, that's pretty standard across a lot of credit cards these days. And in terms of fees, Apple, when they first introduced this card, really wanted to showcase the fact that they have no fees associated with this card. And they're kind of right. So there's no annual fee, there's no late fee, there's no overage fee, there's no foreign transaction fees. There's basically no fees associated with this card, and that's pretty cool. Now, in terms of cash back offerings, these are where things kind of get a little interesting. So anything you buy with the physical card itself will yield you 1% immediate cash back. Anything you buy using Apple Pay will yield you immediate 2% cash back. And anything you buy from Apple, whether it's a store or online, will yield you immediate 3% cash back. And the key word in all three of those statements were immediate. So if you have an Apple Pay cash card set up on your iPhone, as soon as you swipe the card or use Apple Pay, if it's not immediate, it's within seconds that you'll see cash back come onto your Apple Pay cash card. And keep in mind, you can use that on any other transaction, or you can even transfer that to your bank. So unlike a lot of other credit cards, instead of that cash back piling up at the end of the month, and you kind of having to redeem it either on your payment or maybe towards something else, you can actually transfer that money to your bank or use it on any other purchase. It's actual immediate cash back. But I think where Apple really tries to wow you whenever it comes to their credit card is in the build quality of the card itself, and at the same time, a lot of the services that they offer for the card built into their wallet app. So let's start with the build quality of the card itself. Everything from the card arriving in the package to you setting it up, activating it, to you holding onto the card absolutely screams Apple and absolutely screams build quality. So just holding the card itself feels really, really nice. Like I mentioned earlier, it is titanium, so there is a little bit of heft associated with it. Dope. And they kept the design really, really simple. So on the front of the card, you'll see your chip, which is normal. You'll see your name laser etched into the card, and you'll see the Apple logo etched into the card as well. And on the back, you see a standard silver metallic strip. You'll see a MasterCard logo and a Goldman Sachs logo etched into the card because those are the two issuers of the card itself. So overall card design is really minimal, and you'll notice there's no section to add your signature. There's no like really gross looking magnetic strip. There's no card number associated with it. All that information can be found inside the actual wallet app, and even the actual pamphlet that the card itself comes in is a lot nicer than the traditional trifold paper kind of statements you get whenever you first get your credit card. You got to kind of peel the sticker off of it, call this number to activate the card. Everything about the overall experience with this card screams simplicity and screams Apple. Just one quick thing, do not expose your card to leather and do not expose your card to denim because it will stain. You're killing me, Apple. Now, like I said, Apple really tries to get you when it comes to offering really nice services on the Apple Card. And I gotta say, they make things really, really simple because everything's essentially built into your wallet app. So whenever you open up your wallet app, obviously your Apple Card will be listed as a choice of one of your cards. And whenever you press on it, you'll be at the Apple Card summary. Now the summary shows you a multitude of things, starting off with obviously your balance and when your next payment is due, but it also does a really good job of not only breaking down where your money goes in terms of categories, but showing you in a way that it's a bar graph, and the bar graph is also color coded. So this gives people who are really good with visuals a visual way of seeing with colors and bars exactly where their money is being spent and on what category, so they can better budget the next month around. Now let's talk about the payment system because that's also really cool. I call it the payment wheel. So whenever you push on how much money you owe, it gives you the opportunity to make a payment. Now the payment is broken up into this neat little wheel with a little kind of pin that you're able to drag across segments on the wheel itself. Now, if you choose to make the minimum payment, Apple will be 100% transparent with you and let you know how much interest charges you'll be facing the next month around. But the higher up you scroll on this wheel, the less and less interest you end up paying on your next payment. And the cool part is that you don't have to pay off everything you owe in order to not face interest charges. Apple will show you exactly how much you need to pay in order to avoid interest charges. That on its own is also really cool. Now, in terms of transactions themselves, a lot of times whenever you go and look at your credit card, you may notice that you've spent money in a place that comes up on your credit card really weird. Like if you go to a gas station, like a 7-Eleven, and you spend money on gas, it may not pop up as 7-Eleven on your card statement. It may pop up as some sort of strange vendor or business name. And a lot of times you'll have to be like, when did I spend $21.50 on the 13th? Where was I? What was I doing? That they've kind of eliminated that factor whenever it comes to owning a credit card because they've found a way to pinpoint exactly where you're spending the money using Apple Maps, and they'll also reflect the business name a lot more accurately than a lot of other credit card companies out there will do. And whenever you push on the transaction itself, it actually shows you where you spent that money on Apple Maps. So there's no more of this, gee, where did I spend that money? You just push on the transaction, and if you can't remember even then, it shows you on the map itself. And that should hopefully jog your memory, and if it doesn't, someone else has your card, and if that happens, they've added the ability to not only call, but you can also text Apple support right through the wallet application, and you can even do really important things like update the address associated with your credit card right there in the wallet app. So the card design and functionality is simple, but so is managing your card. And I feel like with all this kind of built in, hopefully a lot of other large credit card company holders are gonna start making their card this easy to manage in the wallet app like Apple has. And sometimes I get really, really relevant information fed to me while we're filming, and I just got some cool bits of information fed to me. So apparently, if your Apple Card is not near your iPhone and you try and make a purchase with it, it'll block the transaction, assuming that your card has been stolen. I'm not really sure how far away your iPhone has to be, but I'm assuming it has to be a reasonable distance away, right? Like if someone steals your card and then drives down to like the next large city away from you and tries to use it, then yes, it should automatically block that purchase because the card is too far away from the phone, which that on its own is also really cool. So yeah, the Apple Card is really, really cool, but it's important to understand whether or not it's an ideal credit card for you. I'm not making this video to try and push a credit card onto you because having a line of credit is actually something very, very important and something very, very serious. It's something that you should take seriously in terms of your own money management and budget and financing and everything like that. I'm just here to talk to you about the fact that a large tech company like Apple brought out a credit card and what exactly that should mean for you at the end of the day. Now, another thing to keep in mind is in terms of all those cool cashback offerings, obviously Apple is going to start trying to partner with bigger companies in order to offer cashback incentives to get you to take advantage of other company services. And I believe right now, according to my awesome sources of information here in the studio, if you buy from Uber or Uber Eats, you get 3% cash back, which you're typically not seeing unless you buy something from Apple. That's also really cool. And there's also some cafes around there called Cafe Max. Apparently, if you buy from Cafe Max, you're getting 10% cash back. Obviously, something like that, and even the one with Uber, is for a limited time only. But if you're an avid user of your Apple Card, just be on the lookout for cool promotions like that because you may want to take advantage of that instant cash back. So that's it, guys. Nothing too in-depth about something like an Apple Card because, hey, like I said 4 times, it's a credit card. My biggest takeaways whenever it comes to something like the Apple Card, and I said this literally in the last take, but please take something like this seriously. I'm not here to push you applying for this card. If you want to apply for it, great. If you don't want to apply for it, you don't want to apply for it. I just think it's really interesting that a large tech giant like Apple is now exploring financing options like a credit card. And I think the underlying message at the end of the day is this: Apple is making it harder for you to break away from their ecosystem. I mean, it's one thing to have, like me, for example, an iPhone XS Max, an iPad Pro, a MacBook Pro, the watch, AirPods, Powerbeats Pro. I mean, there's so many ways that Apple can try and kind of pull you into their ecosystem to where if you want to ditch one product, it's almost like you have to ditch all of the other ones. But now, if you're someone who really likes the Apple Card and Apple does something to where you don't want to buy their products anymore, you're gonna also have to get rid of a line of credit. Now, what could that mean for you down the line? I don't know, but it's something to point out. Now, in terms of the actual credit card itself, I think it's a really good basic to maybe you have 2 or 3 lines of credit type credit card. It's not a card that's gonna blow you away with its APR rates or even a lot of its cashback opportunities that it has, but it's gonna be cool for some people, maybe even for a few people starting out just trying to build their credit, make small purchases, pay it off, just kind of understand the nuances of a credit card versus a debit card. But at the end of the day, it's my job to just give you guys this information. It's y'all's responsibility to take it and do with it as you wish. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. That's loud.